Okay, when you go into Veo, you may find a page like this that has all of our videos. You can see we have 104 of them now. It has all the videos from the club. I also have a few things that I recorded at Otterbein to help coaches learn new activities and things like that if you'd like. But you'll be most interested in the teams page. Once you go to teams, you'll be able to find your team. So if I go to the girls 2004 Navy, which is one of my teams, I can click on that, and you can update this header if you'd like and make it a little bit more specific to your team. You'll see that we have 8 recordings in there right now, and you can also click on the members in the group. You can see pretty much that entire team has signed up and gotten into the system. You can also see a tab to invite members, and what you can do here is you can add a new member by typing it in all yourself, or you can create an invitation link. And what I've been doing with players is I give them the role of player, but I also give them permission of editor. And once I do that, that allows them to come in and actually make highlights and things like that for themselves and ask coaches questions. So once you generate that link, you can copy that link and send it in a text and send it to your entire team, and then your team can go ahead and get signed up. Once you go into your team's recordings, you can pick an event. I'm going to take this game, in the first half of this game, because I've already done a little bit of work in this game. The software itself will find highlights like goals, and it will find the beginning and the end of halves if you do one entire clip as an entire game. I suggest that you do half by half. It's a little bit easier for the system to upload and easier for you to deal with later if you want to deal with smaller files instead of one giant file. As the software breaks down the video, it follows the ball. You can see right now this is having trouble following because there's not a ball in play, but if we get into the game, you can see that it'll follow this. So the camera itself is panning and following. It'll zoom in, it'll zoom out. You can see as it started to come this way a little bit, it pulled out a little bit. So you can now take this view if you'd like, or you can go down here and you can go to this interactive view. It looks like a joystick right here, a control pad, and click on interactive player. Once that loads, you now have control of the camera after the fact. Obviously, this game was a little while ago. You can zoom in to specific things you want. You can follow the ball. This is really hard to watch, obviously, as you can turn the camera and see the things you want to see. You can go down here to playback speed. You can speed it up if you want to kind of fast forward. You can slow it down if you want to see something a little slower. Obviously, this is sound. You can add the sound or not, and you can look at it in a full screen view. This is actually kind of a cool view because it does make things a little bit bigger when from that 180 view it's really pretty small. If you go back to the smaller player, one of the things that you can do is you can click new highlight. I'm going to break down a highlight clip from the interactive view. You can do it from the version where the software has been following the ball if you want. I like the interactive view because I'm going to actually zoom in and zoom out and turn the camera as I make the highlight. So I'm going to pick that interactive. I'm going to go to choose tags. You can choose one of these. Maybe it was something that had to do with positioning or possession or a press in some way. Maybe it was a shot on goal, whatever it might be. Or you can add a new tag. Feel free to add new tags. I think we have plenty of room to add a lot of those because you can always search for the one you want anyway and choose it. I'm just picking this at random, so I'm going to pick counterattack. You can also choose the players that are involved. So if I had 1, 2, 5 players, whatever, that were involved, I can click on all of them, or I can deselect them if I've accidentally chose the wrong person. And then I can make a comment. So just call this practice making highlights right now. And I can choose for everyone to see this if the game was available in that way, or I can choose team only. This video is already put into the system for just our team to see, so it's already set on team only. And then I want to work on the highlight. This on the left side is where they have it beginning, but maybe I don't need all of that, so I can fast forward this a little bit and shorten the clip. And maybe I want to start right there, but obviously this is too far away, so I can turn the camera I can zoom in, and now I can really turn the camera so it's right there. And I'm going to start my clip right there. And as play goes on, maybe I want to turn the camera a little bit. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to hit add keyframe. And from there, I want to turn the camera. And then I'm going to let it go again. And I realize it's going back the other way. So I want to turn the camera there. And now I really want to see this. So I'm going to turn the camera and turn it this way. Oops. Turn the camera there. Add another keyframe. Turn the camera to there. And then maybe that was the end of the clip I wanted. Doesn't really have much to do with the counterattack, but it looks like that's about to start. But we'll go ahead and create that clip right there. You're going to see it'll take a little while for that to render, but as we go through here, I'm going to show you a couple other clips that I've already made. So this was a goal that we scored, and you'll see the view that it has right here. So let's just click on that, and you can see we have a throw in. We have a player making a run in behind, and once she gets in here, she's going to try to cut across the path of that defender, get to the goal line, play it back, and finish it. So that's a good view of it, but sometimes I want to see some other things. So this you can see is that same goal, but it's a wide view of it. So you can see now in this view, you can see a lot more of this is a player that scores, and you can see where she comes from by looking in this view. So now we know the ball goes in behind. You can see the timing of her run, cut in behind. So it's a little further out, but I can see a lot more in it, and that allows me to do those kind of things with that camera. Now, once that one is done rendering, it puts it in order of videos chronologically. So you can see that counterattack that we created. Let's go back and look at that video that I created. And this one is not too exciting because we were just making one for an example. But you can see how the camera is turning, and it's pretty smooth. It's not jerky like it was when I turned it at the time. You can see the camera is following the play exactly where I want. I could turn all the way back and watch the other team's goalkeeper, or I could just turn it on one player and watch, or I could pull that view out a little bit. But you can see that was the clip that we created. Once that's in there, it's here on the side. And if you want, you can download it. You can delete it, which I'm going to do right now. Delete that one. If you wanted to download the entire game, get rid of that. You can download that entire half or that entire game that you had. You can edit it. Obviously you can edit the wording on it. I want all of our things to have the name of the age group, verse who you're playing, and then put a space, hyphen space, and then first half or second half or entire game, and then the date in that order, so we can kind of see them a little quicker. You can share these videos with an opponent if they have that. You can kind of see what has been viewed as well. So you can also get into the settings and things like that in any normal software app. So that's a great way for you to send some notes. I have put some individual notes in here to certain players. Sometimes it's a note to the entire team. Sometimes it's a note that I send to a specific player. Hey, this is what I was talking to you about at halftime. I have things in here that I'm just dealing with referees and the situations they make, because I do a lot of conversations. I have a lot of conversations with referees. So, but that's a great way, and by giving your players editor rights, they can come in here, create a highlight, and say, Coach, this is what I was talking about. What should I do in this situation? And I'd really like to see some conversations back and forth. If you do that, I suggest that you have your players text you and let you know, or email you and let you know, hey, on this game, on this date, in the 43rd minute, I made a clip for you to take a look at, and then you can read the notes I have and you can respond to that player. But I want some interaction between players and coaches here, and families and coaches. So mess around with the system a little bit. Don't delete anything you're not supposed to delete. Please don't delete a game, but have some fun learning the system.